We're here on a review hearing, and we are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and a consent of the parties. We are live streaming, and Ms. Taylor is making our record this morning. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services, and I'm present and ready with Permanency Specialist Frank Anguiano and Supervisor Dakota Miller, both from St. Francis Ministries, and we're present and ready.
Jim Shaw, attorney ad litem.
All right, so I've reviewed the report. What do we have new with Moses?
So Moses is currently placed with Daryl and Mary Moore in Harker Heights, Texas. Right now, as far as I think if you read the report, you see the list of medical conditions that Moses has and the amount of medication that he is under. But for right now, he's doing as well as he can do. He had a very difficult month of May and June were very difficult months for Moses. He was admitted to the hospital sometime around the 1st of June, and he was there for the entire month of June. We really didn't know what was going on for a while. We knew that his blood cell count was high, and we knew that his sleeping was very, very unsettled. What the doctors determined was that his sleep apnea had progressed to a level to where there needed to be a tracheotomy. That tracheotomy was inserted on June the 13th, and it was inserted successfully. And also in the time that he was in hospital, he had his seizure meds adjusted. And those two changes have resulted in a jump in Moses's quality of life. Before he was basically about 90% brain dead is the way his caretaker described it to me. But since those two changes, Moses will laugh, Moses will smile. He can sit up in his wheelchair for a couple hours at a time and be fairly aware of what is going on around him. And he's sleeping much more peacefully. The tracheotomy has made such a difference. He sleeps more peacefully. He sleeps more restfully. The family recently got a different wheelchair accessible van that allows them to go out and do more things. So considering all the challenges that Moses is facing right now and has been facing for most of his life, for the moment, he's doing as well as he can do.
Okay, and I was pleased to read they had sort of gotten some solutions, and it sounds like he's made a pretty big turnaround. So
yes, things were I would say in the beginning of June, things felt very scary. But the tracheotomy was a really big change, and I spoke with his doctor and around that time, and I was literally speaking to Daryl and his doctor up until about a couple hours before he went into surgery to have that put in. So I've got a really good rapport with the caretakers, and we've gotten to the point. As far as Moses goes, the less news I get about him, the better. I know the longer, if Daryl doesn't get to me in a few weeks, I know that means that Moses is doing well. So, but he's doing as well as he can do.
yeah. Okay. All right, Mr. Shaw.
Judge, I agree that he's made a lot of improvements. The placement is really happy with his condition now. And hopefully he will be able to sustain this progression as to him getting better.
All right, and he's still getting, full-time nursing, skilled nursing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. All right, then. Well, I'm pleased that things are better for him and that his quality of life is better than it was a few months ago. So that's good news. I'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I will continue his placement. Sounds like he's in a good place, and yes, they're handling all this really well. So
they're very experienced at what they do, Your Honor. The courtesy worker that I used down there has known the family for many years, and they're very familiar with each other. Some of Moses's nursing staff have been with him for 7 or 8 years at this point, quite a long time. So it's a very good situation for him.
Okay. All right, then we will get together again March 13th of 2024. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket, and we'll review and see how he's doing then. Parties? And,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you, sir. Appreciate you. We are live streaming. Ms. Taylor is making our record. Okay, we'll take everybody's announcements.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm present and ready with Permanency Specialist Frank Anguana. Sorry,
Anguiano, you had it right the first time.
Anguiano. Okay. And Supervisor Dakota Miller from St. Francis Ministries.
Jim Shaw, attorney ad litem.
Monica Olivas with Casa, present and ready.
All right, thank you. All right, how is Miss Floor doing?
So Flor is now 9 years old. She's currently in the 4th grade. She is homeschooled through her foster mother, and she's doing really, really well. Flor now chooses to go by the name of Eve. That will be her name once she is adopted. So that's the name I'll refer to her for the rest of this hearing. Eve is doing really well. She's been placed with Rachel and Mark Mallet for several years now. The Mallets have already adopted her 2 younger brothers, and they're one big family. At this point, it's the only family that Eve has ever known. She's doing really well. She's starting to really like reading. She's very involved with the local church there that they go to. She does a lot of service projects around town, including one this summer that having to do with bats. That was really intriguing to read about. But her courtesy worker has nothing but good things to say about her progress. And right now the only thing that's holding up this adoption is the immigration process, which Mrs. Ferguson knows much more about than I do. But the family is resigned to the fact that this will take several years and doesn't change how they are as a family. They'll be a family, and they're very content with that right now. And they just understand that this is a process that we have to go through and keep going.
All right, and you are certainly right about Miss Ferguson knows more about that than any of us. So I will look to her to give me an update if there is anything new.
Unfortunately, Your Honor, we're just in the long waiting game. She has already received her Social Security card and employment authorization, and that's the last step before her priority date comes up. But unfortunately, I believe that her priority date is sometime in Anyway, her priority date is years away, I think. So unfortunately, but we do consider her in an adoptive home, and even though she's not yet adopted, and we are just waiting out for that priority date.
Yeah, I mean, we have achieved permanency in virtually all respects, but other than this one gigantic hitch, no, nothing else we can do, just wait it out. But she's obviously thriving where she is. And
Absolutely.
So no concerns.
None at all.
Okay. Mr. Shaw?
Judge, the placement is very attentive to Eve, and I am really happy with the progress that she's making.
Okay. And Casa?
No concerns, ma'am. She's been doing very, very good. You can tell she's very comfortable with Rachel and her father, so everything's good. No concerns.
Okay. I like bats too. I get it. I think it's they're very interesting little creatures. Okay, well, then I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I'll continue her placement and find all of her needs are being met there more than adequately. And we will review again on March 13th of 2024, and that'll be a 9 o'clock docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honor.
Okay. Miss Katie, have we heard anything from Mr. Raby about what, since he just got appointed to the bench, have we seen?
No, I haven't seen anything. He said he was going to be working on them and getting them to me.
Okay. All right. All right, then.
I did not know he got appointed to the bench. I'm happy for him.
He is now the new 100th Judicial District judge.
Good for him.
Yeah. think it's great.
He'll do a great job. Yeah, he'll do a great.
And there he is now. Here, we'll pull one on him.
Do I have to refer to him as Your Honor yet? Since technically,
I'm waiting for him to get off the phone, and then I'm just going to say, all right.
I mean, Judge, it's going to take me a little bit to get that taste into my mouth, I think.
No, I'm not sworn in yet, so I'm not a judge yet.
We don't have to.
Okay.
I was going to say, all rise. You know. Congratulations again, Dale. It's great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
I have
Thank you.
nothing but good things, and I think everybody thinks you're going to be great.
Thank you.
He'll do a good job.
We're here today on our status hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom. We are also live streaming, and Ms. Wyatt is making our record this afternoon. All right, we'll go ahead and take everybody's announcements.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm present and ready with Permanency Specialist Lisa Hooper and Supervisor Jasmine Devereaux, both from St. Francis Ministries.
Stacy Grant representing Adrian Ramirez. My client's present. We're ready.
Your Honor, Dale Raby, attorney for the respondent, Ms. Hartwig. I've not had any contact with her. She has not contacted me.
Jim Shaw, attorney at Lidum, and placement was trying to get on. I don't know if they made it on or not.
They did. They're with Adrian.
Yeah, your client is with my client.
Right then, what do we have news since the court report was filed?
We have created family plans for both the mother and the father. I have not been able to make contact with Ms. Hartwig. I've placed business cards on 6 or 7 homes in Amarillo in attempts to get a message to her, but haven't had any luck so far. I have been able to visit with Adrian. We've got a family plan developed for him. Do you want me to go through what's on the family plan?
No, I mean, I've reviewed it and read it.
Oh, okay.
I kind of just want to know the status of who has signed, who's reviewed it, that kind of thing.
I believe our parent support worker was going to review it with Adrian. Ms. Hartwig has not. I haven't been able to get a hold of her, so she has not reviewed her family plan.
All right. And do you know whether or not Mr. Ramirez has gone over that and has reviewed it or signed it yet?
I did not think to ask Jessica prior, and I have not communicated with her today to see if he has signed that or not. So I apologize. I do not know that answer.
All right. We'll just find out.
Adrian, can you nod yes or no if you've signed the service plan? Not yet? Okay. Lisa, if you'll send a copy through my office, I'll get with Adrian and I'd be glad to review it with him and return it to you today so we could get that filed if that would be helpful.
Absolutely.
All right. And has anybody, spoken with him about kind of what to expect?
Yes, I was able to sit down and visit with him and told him kind of what the expectations would be on the family plan. We have tried to get him to set up for an OSAR. He's taken two UA tests with us. Both came back positive. We've tried to get him set up on an OSAR. I don't know if he's having issues with his email, hasn't been able to go through in front because there's a release he has to sign to have that OSAR completed. And we haven't got that signature on that release form yet. But we've discussed.
Positive for what?
Methamphetamines and amphetamines.
Right.
Lisa, if you want to attach the releases with the service plan, I can assist Adrian with getting the signatures on those. I have DocuSign and we can do it through my computer program if we need to assist him.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay.
Anyway, he and I were able to sit down and I was able to go over with him what the expectations were going to be. I have a counselor set up for him, and that information will be given to him so he can contact the counselor and set up an appointment to start the counseling sessions, and hopefully get that OSAR done relatively soon also.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And obviously you've had no contact with the mom, so we'll see. Mr. Raby, have you had any contact with her?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Green, do you mind if I ask your client if he's had any contact or knows how to contact her?
I have no objection.
Okay,
Adrian,
can
okay.
you unmute for me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't talked to her in maybe a month and a half, 2 months. So it's been a
Have you
while.
spoken to her since the children were removed, Adrian?
No, I haven't. I haven't talked to her.
Do you know if she's tried to come to your home address at all since then, even though you weren't there and were at work?
I believe she hasn't. Nobody's been at my house. So
Do you have any idea where they could locate her?
Amarillo is one thing I know.
Okay.
On the east side Amarillo. Maybe try hotels.
Okay. Would you please send to my office through email any phone numbers or addresses you have for her so that I can provide those?
Yes, I sure will.
With my initial conversation with Mr. Ramirez, he was kind enough to give me what her car looks like and one suggestion of an address. And I did go to that house. It's kind of a duplex looking thing. The windows and doors were boarded up. I found some people outside and asked if they had seen Miss Hartwig recently.
We'll wait till we know she's back.
There were some guys standing outside, and I asked them if they had seen Miss Hartwig recently, and they said she moved out a couple weeks ago. I left them my card and said if she happens to come back, let her know I'm trying to get a hold of her. But I haven't heard anything from anyone.
All right. Mr. Shaw, anything to report regarding the children?
No, Your Honor. The grandmother's doing a great job with the kids. They have some delays, but she's working with them and doing a great job.
Do we need to get extra assistance for the kids, tutors, or anything else, or do you think she's on top of it?
Mr. Ramirez, do you believe you need any assistance?
No, sir. Thank you. But I think we're doing great. Thank you, sir.
Yay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Can I add something?
Yes, absolutely.
Dallas goes to the special ed classes in Tulia at the Tulia school, and Gabriel is going to the special ed classes in Silverton. And I spoke with the special ed, the diagnosticians in Tulia, and they are in the process of getting Gabriel tested and everything they do to hopefully get him moved over to the Tulia school district for their special ed program. So that is in the works. I spoke with her last week, and she said they expected to have something hopefully done by the middle of November, something like that. So they're in the process of getting him moved over to Tulia also.
Okay. Would grandmother have to take him, or do they ride a bus?
They ride a bus.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about today? All right, then Mr. Ramirez, let me just visit with you about a few things. This service plan that we've talked about, and I'm sorry that you haven't actually seen it, but we're going to make sure you see that very soon. I'm going to make that a court order today. So in other words, I'm ordering you to do those services that are contained in that plan. So that's like any other court order. I expect you to do it, and there are consequences if you don't work those services. So this is just the stage of this whole process where I'm required to make sure you understand that failure to work your services could mean the kids don't come home. And worst case scenario, it can mean termination of your parental rights. So, we don't want to go down that road. We want the kids at home. We want them, we want you to be able to be a parent to them. And so, it's just key that you get started on those services as soon as you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. The most important of those things, I will just tell you, is drug-free.
Yes, ma'am.
You can do all the counseling in the world, you can do all the parenting classes in the world, but if you can't stay away from drugs, then I cannot send the kids home to where I know there's active drug use.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that.
Okay. All right, then, they'll get that to you and go over it with you, as soon as possible. And if you've got questions, certainly Ms. Grant can probably answer those for you. And then our next hearing will be February 14th of 2024, and that's set on a 1 o'clock docket, just like today. So I'm going to make a finding today to continue the department as temporary managing conservator and to continue the children's placement with their grandmother, and make a finding that there would be a continuing danger to the children to return them home at this point in time. We look forward to the day where I can say that it's safe to send the kids home. So, just get going on these things, and that's hopefully where we will head. All right, then. I appreciate it, everybody. I'm assuming this will probably be the last hearing Mr. Raby will have on this case, so we will get him substituted as soon as that's appropriate. And I will see you all back February 14th.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you all very much. Everybody have a good afternoon. Terry, thank you.
Congratulations, Dale. You're going to do great.
Thank you.
See you soon.